All right, let's move into the final segment of our weekly war brief. U.S. intelligence reports were coming out, or reports were coming out suggesting that the U.S. intelligence was fucking helping Ukraine, and U.S. intelligence suggested they were helping Ukraine. And now they're being told to shut the fuck up, which is what they should have been told to shut the fuck up. But it's too late now. They can't, like, even if they do shut the fuck up, people already know, and it's too late to put the genie back in the motherfucking bottle, if you understand what I'm saying. Um, but we're going beyond helping them with just weaponry and stuff. Like, we have, according to these reports, we have become an active participant in this battlefield, and that pisses me off because you declared war with Russia on behalf of me without my consent. Just throwing that out there. But let's get into this final article. Support the Guardian. No, you can if you want to, but no. U.S. intelligence told to keep quiet over the role in Ukraine military triumphs. CIA veterans advise successors against unwise intelligence boasts that could trigger escalation from Russia. I mean, that's probably too late for that now, but like I said, I digress. Like, the Russian TV is already telling Russian people that NATO is the one that started the war. Former U.S. intelligence officers are advising their successors currently in office to shut up and stop boasting about their role in Ukraine's military successes. Two stories surfaced in many days in the American press this week, citing unnamed officials as saying the U.S. intelligence was instrumental in targeting of Russian generals on the battlefield and in the sinking of Moskva's flagship carrier in the Black Sea, both of which are basically declarations of war by the United States on Russia without consulting the people of the United States of America. The initial report in the New York Times on Wednesday about generals was partially denied by the White House, which said that while the U.S. shares intelligence with Ukrainian forces, it was not specifically shared with the intent to kill Russian general officers. I mean, sharing military fucking intelligence to a country at war about their enemy is doing exactly that. Trying to suggest that that is not what it is insulting my motherfucking intelligence. The next day, NBC, the New York Times, and the Washington Post all quoted officials as saying the U.S. intelligence had helped Ukraine hit the Moskva with anti-ship missiles last month, marking it the biggest Russian ship to be sunk since the Second World War. As a general rule, espionage is carried out in secret. The Western intelligence agencies have turned that rule on its head over the past few months by going public with what they knew about Russian preparations for invasion and that their daily reports on the battlefield and from behind the Russian lines. That's because they're trying to force they already know now that the people of the United States will not support war. They will not support going to war with Russia over Ukraine. So now they're trying to force Russia to target NATO countries in order to force us into the war against Russia with Ukraine. I mean, it's textbook. Textbook. The new disclosures are different, however, as they concern with what the U.S. espionage agencies themselves have been doing rather than commenting on the state of the war. In both cases, the U.S. was claiming a hand in historic humiliations for Moscow and for Vladimir Putin, triggering warnings of unintended consequences. Paul Pillar, a former senior CIA official, said, "My personal view is it's unwise. I'm surprised at the extent of official confirmation of the role of the U.S. intelligence in the sinking of Moscow, and even more of so killing of its generals. The big concern is that this sort of public confirmation of this extensive U.S. role in the setbacks dealt to the Russians may provoke Putin into escalation in a way that he might not otherwise feel is necessary to escalate." Yeah, it's a declaration of war on the Russian people. John Cipher, who served for 28 years in the CIA's clandestine service at some of that time in Moscow, thought the decision to disclose details of intelligence sharing was misguided, but for different reasons. "I just think it's disrespectful to the Ukrainians," Cipher said. "It's taking away from the people who are actually on the ground, who are taking advantage of the intelligence, who are collecting their own intelligence, who are fighting day and night." However, he did not think that it significantly raised the risk of escalation between Russia. Yeah, okay. Putin understands how the game is played. He gets intelligence to try to kill Americans if the situation is reversed, as he did in Afghanistan and other places. "The Russians have spent years attacking us with cyber warfare and disinformation," Cipher said. "So I don't think them being upset that America is sharing intelligence is a game changer." I mean, that's true. We've been sharing intelligence back and forth for years. Maybe they won't take that as a fucking escalation, but I don't know. We'll see. Their news media is already taking it that way. "It's stupid," one official said. "I don't think it's careful, coordinated leak." An official from another European country cast doubt on the centrality of U.S. intelligence to the Ukrainian targeting a Russian general, saying the main factor was the predictability of Russian officers as they followed rigid Soviet-era doctrine. The breakdown in their secure communications equipment and the top-down hierarchy of the Russian army meant the top officers had to travel to the front lines to be sure their orders were carried out, and Ukrainian snipers were waiting for them. In this case of the Moskva, U.S. officials were at pains to emphasize that Ukraine made its own target decisions and drew information from multiple sources. We are not the only sole source of intelligence and information to the Ukrainians. That's irrelevant. That get intelligence from other nations as well and have pretty mostly intelligence collection capability, John Kirby, the Pentagon spokesperson, said. They've been fighting this war against Russia for 8 years. It's not that they are completely blind to the way Russia organizes itself and the way Russia conducts itself on the battlefield. I mean, that's important to note, too, because it goes beyond that. This is like the Russia and the fight between Russia and Ukraine goes back. Like, they've had, 5 civil wars? At least Ukraine has. I'm not sure if they were all against Russian, but, the Kiev used to be the capital of Russia, so, this conflict is beyond World War II, where there's Nazification. This conflict goes beyond NATO. It goes beyond all the fuckery that people are attributing to the war. But, I mean, I honestly think the reason why Putin is doing it is because Russia, like I said, Russia strategically needs that water port, that southern water port, in order to do its trade, because it right now it has no ports. I believe majority it has no ports, so it can't really ship goods around. It has to pay people to use other ports, and they can be shut down. Like you've seen with all these sanctions and stuff. Even if it's only a temporary setback, these things can happen, and a country would be stupid not to try and address that. Using things like the Western current Nazification of the left, because they like to call the right Nazis, but they're the ones figuratively burning the books, and the digitally burning the books, as you can say, banning people and trying to shun them and stuff. They're the ones acting more Nazi than the right. But fascism is fascism, It's neither left nor right, One faction gets too extreme and gains power, you're going to get government fuckery. Another faction gets too extreme and gains power, you're going to get government fuckery. Government fuckery comes from both sides of the coin because both wings belong to the same bird. I'm just fucking saying. Thank you for checking out this clip of my Thought of the Day podcast. You can catch this podcast every Tuesday through Friday at that'sonpoint.info by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's how winning is done. New clips go out daily. And we can't do this without you, so we appreciate your support. With that being said, consider joining for $5 a month, and you get early access to the uncensored version of this, early access to our weekly That's On Point podcast, and access to exclusive content only for members. All the money that we receive is going to go funnel back into this to hire more journalists and do more things for you guys, because that's how winning is done. It really is. We got a merch store and stuff. You can help there, and if you can't help via money, you can always just leave a comment, and share this out there, because that helps us more than you can immensely know. That's the best way to help. Just leave a comment, and share. And if you're listening to us, leave a review. Leave a good review. Help us boost us in the podcast ratings and get us up there, because that's how winning is done. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.